everybody. It's Melody coming live to you from the Anchorage area, and today is Rachelle and Mel on Monday in our Thrive community. We have great stuff to talk about today. Rachelle started her first day with kids today, right, Rachelle? So tell us a little bit, and we have a wonderful guest that Rachelle's going to talk. Of course, you probably already know Andrew. He's all over the place too. So thanks for joining us, Andrew, and I'll let Rachelle introduce you after she tells us about her first day.
So I'm breathing in. It's interesting for anybody who is teaching either hybrid or fully distance. It's not easy at all. The day, I mean, you're just connected, but it was great to see the students and to start the year. It obviously it feels different, to do that, but going through and setting up like, this is how you use Teams, and I had them do some. It was actually kind of funny because first period I said, okay, now raise your hand. And in my mind, I was thinking, use the raise your hand feature, and they're all raising their hand. I'm like, okay, wait, so let's pretend I can't see you. So use the raise your hand feature. So it was good to connect with them because teaching Spanish and STEAM, I'm the only Spanish teacher. And so aside from the students in Spanish 1, I know all of the students in levels 2 through 4, but I actually also knew a good amount of the students in level 1 because I had some of them last year as 8th graders. So good to see them. But it was kind of weird because, the last time I saw them obviously was through Zoom when we were having our class meetings in the middle of June when class ended. So just kind of thinking like, okay, here we are again. But it was a good day, exhausting, I know for sure. And but highlight of my day right here, Melody, with you for 4 o'clock. And we have a guest who, Andrew, I'm surprised has not blocked me, muted me, turned off notifications from me at this point because I just appreciate him so much. He's doing so many great things and he's always involved in so many different networks and spaces. And so I'm thankful that anytime that I ask him to join something or tag him like, hey, join this chat, he doesn't even hesitate. So Andrew, welcome to our Thrive and EDU here. Yay. So if you could tell anybody who's watching who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm really excited to be part of this opportunity this afternoon. And I work as a digital learning coordinator for the ESUs here in Nebraska and kind of work on facilitating conversations statewide between some of our tech people and some of our staff development folks. And so it's been a busy time, to say the least. I transitioned into this role really over the summer after teaching remotely myself and being in the classroom last spring. I spent all of last year working a little bit in personalized learning land. That's my kind of background, really. Honestly, I spent 3 years working as a personalized learning collaborator and coach and doing a little teaching at the same time, writing a book for DVC on personalized learning. And so, wow, yeah, no, definitely not bored by any stretch in the present moment, but always grateful, yeah, Rachelle, to get back to it for any opportunity to share. And so thanks for letting me join today.
Yeah, and I do have to ask you now because this is actually a question that came up a couple of weeks ago when you were on our panel for Parents Square Learning Network. Somebody really liked your background, and I know it's not a background, but I don't know if I was talking to Melody or somebody, and I was trying to say, maybe it was Melody, and I was trying to say, I wonder what it was. So now that you're our guest, we must know what is your background, because it was definitely something that people liked.
Yeah, that's real. That's not, that's some picture that I piped in. I love being outside, and I spend so much of my time kind of in this digital world that when I can unplug, I just soak it in. And I'm so grateful that my kiddos absolutely love it as well. And so we really just that's our hobby. That's what we do. And so this summer, some of the pictures up there from it, we got in an RV and we hit up 5 different national parks, kind of all over the place. I gotta have them for this long weekend coming up, and so we're gonna head out to Colorado even, and socially distant, responsible, wearing masks, but in the midst of a pandemic, you can still get out and appreciate nature a little bit, and we try to do as much as we can.
I'm jealous.
I love that you said that. We didn't know if we wanted to go anywhere, but we ended up going somewhere a little bit outside of everything, and you can go to places and still be socially distant. I mean, I don't know. It's hard because some people feel like they have to stay inside of their houses. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that feels that way, but there are times when you just have to get outside and like we just drove somewhere, not getting in a plane, but going somewhere, driving somewhere, then walking and being outside has been pretty amazing and helped us to kind of deal with everything going on in the pandemic. That's really cool.
Yeah,
What,
that was exactly what we did. We thought did not feel comfortable staying anywhere, and so by getting an RV, we sprayed it down 20 times over, and it had been vacant for 3 days ahead of time. And we did our homework, but we definitely masked up when we got anywhere, and the only places we went were outside, and so we made some good memories, and like I said, made the most of a tough time.
yeah, that is so cool. And did you put all those pictures up yourself because it's very symmetrical?
I'm kind of OCD like that about wanting to make sure, it needs to look a little random, but for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the center of it with like the triangles and everything. I think that's what, yeah, it's very good. I could use that type of organization here because I don't have time to do anything like that. And it was on my list of things to do this summer. And I apparently missed summer this year because I heard it happened. I don't.
You and everybody else, right?
I know.
I totally understand that.
Yeah. Define summer. What is this break you speak of? No, I'm kidding. But I have been living my life as Melody. I bring it up all the time. Living my life, trying. So.
Yeah. And when she says that, like, guys, like we have to remind ourselves that we have to do something that we love, because if we don't, we forget why we're doing anything that we do in the first place. And we just become bitter people. I mean, that's what happens to me anyway. So those of you who are joining in with us, tell us what's going on. Is it your first week back? Is it a lot of teachers are going back without students, but like Rachelle, this week was the first day back with students. And then we have a lot of people in here that have been back for weeks. So tell us how you're doing. We'd love to hear from you. And now we're just going to go, what's up? What's on your mind, guys? What do you want to talk about?
I'll play off of Rachelle here and ask. Okay. I'm curious as to what situation you're teaching in right now. My own children, I'll kind of preface it with saying that, are in a hybrid where for elementary, they go 2 days a week. So this is one of the days that they're at school. I love that the district prioritized SEL for a whole day. And so Wednesday is teacher planning day. And remotely, all learners, both in the A and the B group, meet for an hour, a little over an hour online to go through an SEL lesson. And just to get a break, and they clean the middle of the week, and then it's remote, or it kind of flips obviously for the people that were home the start of the week, and so they got a little in person, get a little bit at home, and it's been interesting. And I'm actually thinking about having my 6-year-old be on my podcast because he loves listening to it, and he has said that he's in for doing that. So I think that's going to be one of the upcoming episodes, is to sort of get his first grader perspective of contrasting kindergarten with first grade. And plexiglass has been a big conversation. they think that's kind of crazy, but what's your scenario right now, and kind of give us some of the nuances from your day.
Look at you turning that on me. No, but I will. I did not see that coming.
It's not my first time doing this.
I know, but I will say the thing about the podcast. I mean, I think that's a great idea. But just to save that and have that, if you did that with him every single year, and see, and just to go back, right, and listen to you, what you thought in this experience. I mean, how powerful that would be. And just as an adult or a teenager at some point to listen to, like, oh, that's what I sounded like. I mean, it's always fun for us when we go back and we look at our thoughts, or, I mean, if you have a diary, I don't know if you had a diary, or you look at the things that you wrote about, or you look at pictures. I mean, there's that nostalgic piece. So anyway, school, for the first 9 weeks, we are distance fully virtual learning. And so students are joining in synchronous lessons on every day except for Wednesday. Wednesday's asynchronous. And that's it. I mean, we have all of our class periods, 5 minutes in between, students log in. We're using Microsoft Teams. So a lot of that, I mean, I know a lot about technology, but it is really, I mean, it is intense. It is not, whatever variation of it that you're doing, it is not easy because, I mean, even just today, the recordings were not working, or some of the students weren't actually added into the teams if they joined in the class later, or they didn't have the audio. I mean, and then I can hear, like, I'm teaching and I can hear the notifications going off for everything. But sometimes I didn't even know what it was. Like, what is that thing that's ringing? It's not an email. Am I being called into a meeting? So it's definitely an adjustment. but the idea is that we teach and record our lessons for whatever the period, a time, like 10, 15 minutes, like we would normally talk in class, and then give students an opportunity to do something that we give for them when we're still here, and then check back in. So for me, I teach 5 different courses. So it's a lot to kind of think through and to make that shift. I've done that for years. It's just a little bit different whenever you're planning for that in the classroom, and you don't have to put so much kind of into digital space. So, but it also forces me to think about what I am doing in my classroom. And it was just kind of fun just to see, showing them like in Microsoft Teams together mode, where it puts them all in the same space, or to see their reactions on the screen. But of course, reminding them, everything you put in there in the chat, it's staying, or this is being recorded. You can't just delete it. So there's a lot of learning that happens or will happen beyond just the content of what we're teaching. So I don't know. And then there was some like laughter. So you're wondering, are they messaging each other? Are they Snapchatting? Like I know I'm not that entertaining. So what's going on? But yeah. And so now turning it back over to Melody, because I want to know how it's going with you, because I know that you've been rolling this out. Andrew's on my side.
Yeah.
Not that there's sides.
So today I have introduced, is what you're talking about, how I've like rolled in one kid after another.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the last month, we've been rolling in another kid. And today I was getting really hard on myself. It doesn't work. Like, I am doing a full-time job. I am trying to do everything I am at home, and then trying to teach them. And I had a really great session with my kindergartner. But like, I'm learning that my oldest likes to sleep in, and there's just no way that I'm going to be able to get her up. She's definitely into the middle school everything. And so everything that I have in mind, like, I'm like, okay, this needs to be my schedule. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it daily gets blown up. So I'm just being flexible. I think flexibility is probably the most important quality that we can embrace right now, just being flexible, because I might not be teaching remotely or whatever, but everything I do is like getting trashed every day. So I have to just go with it or get bitter. Give myself, and then so I still have to do 5th grade today. But we did our little ceremony of, we got each of them some gifts, some back to school gifts, clothes, and a couple of things that were important to them. So we did that. We had breakfast together, and it's a little bit later, y'all. It's like 4:00 there. It's just noon here. Mm-hmm. So that might seem weird. My day is still on the beginning part. But yeah, I'm excited. I really am excited about teaching my kids this year. We have some activities. My husband took off today, so that we're going to do some family art stuff and some science. And this year, my goal is, how can I help my kids love learning? Like, how can they embrace learning and know that this is for them? They get stuck on, I can't do math, or I'm not good at this. And I'm like, how can I turn that around for them so that they know that it's okay to not be good at everything at first, or ever, if that's what it turns into. But, learning is really amazing. And so I've been thinking about, how can I help invite my kids to understand that somehow? Yeah, that's a lot. Sorry, just barfed all over y'all.
That was really good. I don't know, that makes me put my parent hat on too a little bit, and just think about how just interesting this time has been for them to go through the remote experience, to go through the off times, like the down times too. And is it something to where, I'd love for them to work on like workbook pages and reading every day, but they want to learn other ways too. And so we certainly have, Lego has probably taken half my salary, I feel like, because we're getting a new set like every week. But gosh, they just love tinkering with that. And I think that spatial, just kind of, I don't know, having to be able to construct those things and think that way is really interesting. And they've just begged for creative projects. They even the other day found somewhere online that you could suck an egg down into a glass jug. And so do we have a jug around here somewhere? That running a science experiment in the kitchen. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you put some heat in there. And
yes. I did that science experiment, by the way. God. That was my 5th grade. I think that was my 5th grade science experiment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and this, I guess, to like get to a point with that is just to say, I love that. I feel like my kiddos are finding ways to make experiences educational that aren't necessarily structured. And I think that there's a real benefit to that too in the present moment, even though a lot of other things aren't ideal. And so it's been interesting kind of navigating all that. But gosh, keeping them to their schedule of synchronous time though as a parent was a little rough with a 6-year-old, 9-year-old. You're supposed to be on 9:55. It's 9:20. What are you doing? While I'm working at the same time. We made it happen though, and they had their first virtual pep assembly the other day at 3 o'clock.
Oh wow!
On Friday,
Yeah.
so that was really cool.
How did that go, or work, I should say?
Yeah, and what was it like?
It was a little overblown. It was a video, but it was something that the staff had put a really big effort into. The principal was in the gym where they normally would have been at, and was going through some of the same types of conversation I think that he would probably open with, and then cut to this song where they had taken this music video and the teachers had all danced with masks on and done some different things. They did the "We're All in This Together" from High School Musical. And I don't know, my kids were fascinated. They thought it was really fun. And it was about 10-15 minutes long in total, but it was a nice way to end week 1 for them.
Yeah.
That sounds really
fun.
cool. Can you tweet it out if they have the video? If the school has tweeted it out, will you tweet it out? I'd love to see it. Like when you can, not like right now.
Yeah,
no, I will. I'll get back to that because you could tell they put in made a conscientious effort to make that a really cool experience and to feature every teacher, and that's something I've been advocating for all summer. Is we find ways to use video to really express our personality and to show that we're human and make those connections when we're not able to do that on a daily basis. So it's really cool.
Yeah. And I want my kids, they're really into making videos. They think they are going to grow up and be YouTube stars, and you never know, maybe they will, but that's a career that none of us really thought of as when we were growing up, but that's something that's real for them. But like, they want to learn how to edit and make videos. And I'm like, okay, I gotta do this too. Like, I gotta be right along. I gotta learn with them. So that's really cool.
I have to ask both of you, because like you're just talking about YouTube. So is it Dude Perfect? Is that what it is? A YouTube? Do you know?
I'm not familiar with Dude Perfect.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, because I listened to Weston and Molly, the Teaching Keating podcast. And so I listened to it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And they were talking about the Dude Perfect, and they were playing some clips. Now, I've never seen it, but it reminded me of Dude, Where's My Car? First of all, that old movie with Ashton Kutcher and I can't think of his name now. But Weston and Molly, like, I love listening to their podcast because it's a movie or something, but it was about whatever. I just forgot the name now. What's it called? Dude Perfect? No.
Yeah, Dude Perfect. It's a YouTube. I just found it.
But they were talking about like whoever it is, they get these endorsements and the money and all of that. And I had a conversation with somebody a while ago talking about some students who in my 8th grade STEAM class, we would talk about just careers and things like that. And I wouldn't say, what do you want to be when you grow up? We would just talk about the careers that exist now and what are your predictions? What do you think? And a lot of them would say, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. And I mean, that was something that when I heard that, I said, what do you mean you want to be a YouTuber? Like, that's a thing? I had no idea. And I mean, there are a lot of people, even just like on TikTok. I saw a news story probably 2 months ago now, who knows the way time goes, but about some of these people, these young teenagers, and how much they make on TikTok. I'm thinking, I'm never going to make that amount of money in my entire life. And they make that in a year. And I think, my former self would have just kind of rolled my eyes. Like, what do you mean you want to be a YouTuber? What do you mean you want to do this? But
it's legit.
Yeah. And what goes into it. And I mean, the thought process and all the creation, the creativity and everything, the collaboration. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. I'm not saying like everybody should go out and be a YouTuber, but I now see, just having had those conversations with students and heard different stories of other people and their success or what they've tried to do with it, that, yeah, I actually know that it is a thing. But a couple of years ago, they were like, what do you mean you don't know who this person is? I said, oh, who are they? They're a YouTuber. I'm like, well, does that mean like they're on YouTube? Like, I'm a YouTuber. They're like, you're not a YouTuber. But I have YouTube videos. So I will never be a YouTuber. I think, I might have like 12 subscribers, and I think like 3 of them are me.
I have like 23. I have at least 23. I might have somewhere close to 40. at this point, and my kids think I'm so cool because of that.
I like how you said I might have 23, or I'm 23. I might have close to 40.
Yeah, like I feel like there's a 2 and there's a 4 in there somewhere. But when my kids asked me, like, you have subscribers, and I was like, yes, and they just thought that was so cool.
That's so
So,
funny.
Well,
Hey.
but those skills though have their applicability whether you become a YouTuber exclusively or not. So many
Right.
different roles now have a marketing piece to it that if you
Yes.
do have the capability to do a live stream like we're doing right now, I mean it's amazing where that stuff comes up. And something that I try to point out with my own kiddos, because they've made slime videos. My daughter actually asked the other day, she's like, I think I want to like promote some toys on YouTube. So if I get a channel, which toys do you think I should go with? And we were kind of having this back and forth about which of her squishies she was going to feature in her first YouTube video. But one of the things we talk about is like, look at the camera angles. What are some of the things that they're doing that are making this engaging? Like, why is this captivating to you? And sometimes I have no answer for it, because I watch them like watch a 15-minute video where someone's poking different slime. Literally, this is it. Like, if you're a parent, you've probably seen these where they're just like doing nothing but kneading slime, and kids are fascinated. And
It's like they call it satisfy. Like, this is so satisfying.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know why that's the case. There's some science that has to be at play there, because it absolutely makes no like logic.
But to them, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all over it. Yeah. I think it's great. And something else that I've thought about is my kids do not understand how money works at all. And that's something I really want to focus on this year. Like you said, because what if these kids, like these young people, get all this amount of money? Do they know, like, you can invest it, you can save it? Because my kids, man, as soon as they get their allowance, they want to go to Walmart and blow their $5. Like, it's like, listen, you got to save it.
And they're like, Sarah Thomas is what it sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead though. Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I mean, just, they need to learn. That's something that's been sitting on my brain, that I want to really help my kids understand, is the value of money. And also typing. My oldest, she's just like, I want to learn keyboarding. That's something that this year I really want to focus on, things that they want to learn. So I feel like if I can give them that ability to focus on the things that they want to learn, maybe I can put all those other things without them turning away. We'll see.
Yeah. There's a momentum piece to that. That's something I would always, that was one of my like favorite, I would do these little things, I called them my 2 cents to start off class sometimes. And I wanted it to be no longer than 5 minutes, but just something to kind of get students in a mindset that I wanted to promote, right? As just kind of a teachable moment. And I used to bring in one of those Newton's cradle, where the little click clack, you like make the ball go out here and it hits the others and it transfers momentum through. And we would talk a little bit about, okay, what is this and what's the principle behind this? This is an English class. We clearly have no business going talking physics. But that object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an external force. And we said that sometimes you have to move something that is peripheral to the thing you actually want to be invested in to get enough momentum that when it starts to move in your life, it'll transfer through the other things that you're all about. Does that make sense? So
yeah,
that was one of our little 2 cents things that I did on a regular basis. And so, yeah, I do think there's something to, hey, let's work on your keyboarding. And you know what? Once you feel success and a sense of achievement from that, I fully would expect that then to be something that you want to replicate in other facets of your life. And so, and eventually it gets to academics, and that's what's pretty cool. Keyboarding is academics, but I think you get my point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rachelle. I know I always butt in. I am sorry.
No, go right ahead.
And I've been thinking, my kids love technology. I need to make a Google Classroom just for them. And Alice Keeler was telling me last year, like, I need to do this even if I'm homeschooling. And I'm just, but I'm not that good in it. Well, now I have no excuse. Like, I have everything I need to do it. I know everything I need to do. And I think my older kids, what they love is having that independence to work on the things that they want. And I give them the boundaries and I give them the choices. Like, this is what you can work on during our school time because I have 5 kids and they're all at different levels. So I have to find that way of working with each of them and still allowing the other ones to work. So, yeah, but we'll figure it out.
I'm asking you a question then, Melody. What is something that you feel like you've learned from being in that role recently? Like, I always felt like whether it's parenting or teaching the classroom, there's just always a reciprocity there, where as much as I pour into it, it teaches me something as well. Do you feel that at all? And if so,
I
like, what's
definitely.
something recently that you?
I think that all three of us we're guilty of always reflecting on every single thing that we do. Something that I have really thought about lately is, how do I start the morning? When I start the morning and I'm already feeling like a failure because these things didn't happen that I had in line, I know that I'm more short-tempered and I'm grouchy, and it just completely ruins the dynamic of the whole day, whether it's homeschooling, whether it's just living life. So I am really trying hard to make. And that's why I was a little frustrated with myself today, because I didn't sleep very well last night because I had all these plans for today, and then I couldn't sleep. And so, but I want to get things in place so that it's a routine, and that I don't wake up feeling, I just feel like my role in our family, and as the teacher and as just a parent and wife, I feel like I set the tone for our entire family. And when I'm grouchy, like, it just throws everything off. And then my kids don't want to be around me, and I want them to be around me. When I was teaching in public school, I loved being in the classroom. I absolutely loved my students, and we had so much fun. And my kids knew that. They went to the same school. They knew that I loved teaching, and I want them to feel the same thing. Although, it's different being a student and your mom. You know what I mean? Like, the dynamics are a little bit different, but I still, like I said, I want them to love being with me and learning. And I think about that. The social emotional aspect too. How am I building them up? And am I criticizing too much? Or just, how am I being welcoming in the morning? Because I think the morning time is what sets the tone for the rest of the day. So
Yeah.
I feel like I talk in circles, and I apologize, but these are actually reflection that I've had, like, right before we got on here. I've been thinking about it. So thank you.
That's good. Verbal processing a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, but you're pushing us to think too. I mean, or anybody that's watching to think about, like, the morning, right? That's first period. If you're teaching, are you thinking, oh, I'm so tired and this is terrible and I want to go back to sleep? And then that's going to carry over to the students. And then when they go into their second period, or the same thing. I mean, there have been days, not this year yet, because it's only the first day, but there have been days where, driving to work and I am tired, or there's something bothering me, and you feel like, oh, I just to get through this day. But then as soon as you get started, the students come in, or if you're playing music, like I would play music when they would come in or something, or they come in with whatever jokes, or, just their personalities, and what a difference that makes. I mean, just on me. So, and they don't even realize that sometimes. And so just the reverse of that, I mean, they're observing us and catching on to things whenever we don't even realize it. I've had students come in the past, and actually nothing's even wrong. I'm standing a certain way, and they're like, "What's bothering you? Why are you mad?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm not mad. Are you tired?" "No, I'm not tired." "Well, what's wrong with you? You look different." I didn't notice that I was doing anything. And then it was because I was standing a different way, or I wasn't at the door for some reason. I mean, just any of those things that we don't think about, but sometimes they get used to that. I mean, standing at the door with crazy music playing, or I don't even know, or holding a rotary phone as they come in for STEAM class, and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And they just think I'm weird. So it's all good. It's all good.
I love it when kids think I'm weird. We get the best conversations going. That's awesome.
But you know what? Weird is not, I mean, a lot of times I've heard over the years students say, "I'm weird," or "that person's weird." And I say, you know what? We're all weird. Like, there's something about every single one of us that makes us unique or different, or that somebody doesn't like, or whatever it is. And that's not a bad thing. And I've even had teachers come to me over the past couple of years too and say, "I don't think I'm meant to be a teacher. I'm too weird. I'm too different. I don't fit in." And I just think, if a teacher is saying that, I mean, how many students are out there that might actually be feeling that we may not notice, or that they don't feel comfortable saying? And I mean, I don't know, the word weird, I don't like, what does weird even mean? Right? I don't know. It's dare to be different. I have a giraffe over there as a sign that says "dare to be different." I mean, don't make me go get it, but trust me, it's there behind the big chair.
I would hate to think that educators would think that too and be self-conscious, because one of the things I love, like, particularly about once you get to secondary, is there should be a person for everybody. That whatever kind of quirks that you have, like, hopefully there's someone in your schedule as a student that, as a teacher, you can kind of identify with, or maybe it's somebody that leads one of your extracurriculars. And you're right. If you can dare to be different, which would suggest that you're proud in that, right? And then you're okay with owning it. Then yeah, you'll find that there are a lot more people weird like you, I think. And there's something really cool about that.
Yeah. I hate when people, feel like they're not part of something. So that makes me sad too. But I mean, you're right. That's how kids feel all the time, whether they verbalize that to us or not. There's always people that feel like they're on the outside. Which reminds me that this is why I love this community that you have, that we've all been creating together, but that you had the courage to start, Rachelle. I feel like this is a really great place that to share opportunities for people that why is, Andrew, where did you get to how you have gotten, where did you get to this place? How did you get to this place? You grabbed onto opportunities that were given to you. And I love that. And I love that this community is just all about that. So if you're watching and you want a place where you fit in, you feel like you're a little bit weird, join us. We're all weirdos and we love it. So
So we try to have fun. I mean, just, sharing what's going on and people posting things. If you're presenting somewhere, or if you've written a blog, or if you have a question or you're frustrated, whatever it is, I mean, drop it into the chat. Or if you have a question, want to do a poll or something, hey, it's Monday. How's everybody feeling? Put some choices. Or I mean, I don't know. A couple of weeks ago, one of the favorites I had, Happy Wednesday, and it was Wednesday from the Addams Family dancing. So it was good for a laugh. Or what was the cat one, of course, predictable, but gotta love doing that. But don't feel like you have to, I don't know, just contribute, put something in, invite other people to join, because it's open to anybody. If there's people in your school right now and you think, yeah, they should join this and become more connected, by all means, bring them on in.
And I love that you said that. It's a perfect segue. If you have been working hard on anything that you'd like to share, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a YouTube, please definitely share in the comments. That's how we work so hard on things and we want to share it with people, but sometimes we're not we don't know that anybody else would want to see it, but believe me, we do. Everything that we do and create is worth something. So please share it with us. We'd love to see what you're working on. And I'm sure it's going to help a lot of other people. We are running out of time. Actually, we've gone over time, and I don't mind to continue talking, but whatever.
Keep talking until Friday, till 5 o'clock with Dr. Will on Friday. So
yes, definitely. We are going to have Dr. Will on Friday. He's going to join us at 5 o'clock. So please, and this week we have a great conversation talking in our group right now about toxic positivity. And I guess we've kind of established that it's all in the context, it's not just using the right words, but join us in that. That's some good thoughts. But before we go, do you guys have any last words that you'd like to share with our community?
Andrew.
Hey, thanks, Rachelle.
You always have good things to say, and so that's why I don't.
No, I'm just playing. Gosh, I mean, a number of things, obviously. One would certainly be that at this present time, if you're particularly a classroom teacher, my heart goes out to you, and I understand that we're flexing and moving through just a different and a difficult time. And some of my best friends are the people that I taught with up until this past year. And so hanging out with them over the weekend, I was encouraged because most of them, their sentiment was that they were starting to get into a rhythm that felt like they could grow from that place. They certainly weren't pleased with it, and it was still a struggle, and they anticipated it would continue to be. But I think that there was a little bit of hope, having at least had some experience that I was really grateful for them, and I hope that kind of speaks to where maybe we all will get to here over this present time. And so keep fighting the good fight with all that, and know too that it's okay, as we're saying, not to dip into toxic positivity. That's a conversation for another time. But truly, I'm with you, and my heart goes out to everybody, and hopefully we can be there to support folks, and that's what conversations like this are about too, is to understand that we're all kind of working through that together. That's what I got. And I would say I'll point you to just recorded a podcast on Friday with our good friend Mandy Freilich. And we're going to be talking about SEL. And so that'll be coming out a week from today on the Good Life ED podcast. If you want to check that out, That's my own little promo for work, because Mandy's awesome and we had a really good chat. And I think SEL, we talked a little bit about for teachers and for students, which is what we think of it. So as educators, I think we need to take care of ourselves too.
Definitely.
Very nice.
It's not just a hashtag.
Yeah.
No. And speaking of, well, it's always good to listen to Mandy whenever she talks on different podcasts. But SEL, I had one of my recent blog came out today on Getting Smart about why it's more important than ever and how to meet the needs virtually. So I was excited that came out today. So just had some ideas for how teachers can, provide different opportunities for students with check-ins and collaborations. And so I can drop that in our group later. But other than that, that's why I wanted Andrew to speak, because exactly what you said is the best way to sum it up for today.
Yes, I have loved being with both of you. Everybody have a good or a bad week, whatever you have, just know that we're here for you.
Right.
And it's okay if you don't sugarcoat it with us. We won't sugarcoat it with you. We are here for you. We will support you. And it's okay if your day sucks. Hopefully the next day will be better. That's the strongest language I'll use on here, Rachelle, I promise. Okay. So
Okay. Gotcha.
But we'll see you guys on Friday at Thrive O'Clock. Take care until then. Bye.
Bye.